Welcome to the Same Snob Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Snobs Podcast Live. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Casey Plott.
It's a pleasure.
Welcome, sir. A nice Jane hat, by the way.
Thank you kindly. I appreciate it.
Speaking of finales.
Exactly.
So we're here tonight. We're going to be talking about the end of a lot of things. A lot of conclusions.
A lot
Not
of
the apocalypse. It's not the long lost time of Yoda, of being sad and everything else. It's going to be good times, but I guess we should probably start in the worst place available.
Where would you like to start?
It's the Snyder Cut. Did you see the new trailer for the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed the Hallelujah playing the whole time. You know, reminding me of how awful it's going to be and how I'll just be praying to not be watching it.
All right. Here's my feelings on it. It's going to be less bad than what came out in theaters, which I didn't see in theaters, by the way. And me, that's a big deal for me not to go see a Justice League in the movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty blown away that anything Superman related you were not there for, much less Batman related. But it was Batfleck, so was it really Batman?
Well, all right. So you have a difference in the way you think about Ben Affleck's Batman. I didn't mind awful. Ben Affleck's Batman. Yes. But you also call him Batfleck because all you see is the Fleck. He barely ever wears the mask. So it's very good, it's a very good way of thinking. It didn't help the case that it did not help the case that in the trailer for this, after they do the whole long rendition of Hallelujah, he's not wearing a mask. Yep. Everybody else is all dressed, ready to go, and he's not wearing his mask.
No, he doesn't need to wear his mask. He's Batfleck.
He's Batfleck. Yeah, he doesn't need to wear the mask. He just needs Kevin Smith on one side, dressed as Robin, and he needs Matt Damon on the other side as his
little lip quiver.
Superman's back.
Miserable.
Oh, Mike, are you booing us? I mean, listen, I'm going to watch the Snyder Cut. And like I said, I think it's going to be better. But let's face facts. Don't unsubscribe from us, please. We're going to miss you. But don't. All right. He really tried with this trailer with the Hallelujah song.
Yeah.
To kind of, I don't know, not mimic, but maybe try and catch us like he did with the opening of Watchmen with Times They Are Changing, which is great. I thought he did a great job at the opening.
It was fantastic.
But this movie does not warrant what we saw. I'm still going to watch it. I will still be there.
And I will let you explain to me if it's worth watching. And then I will sit for about, the standard 3 months and chew on it as to whether or not I'm going to watch this awful thing.
I hate to break it to you. You're a co-host now. So, if we make it a topic on the very next show, you go watch it.
Yeah, I know. And I'll do it. Ugh.
Oh, the power.
No.
Now I got to figure out what movies you never want to watch that I'm going to have to make you watch.
I don't know. My list is pretty long. I mean, just to give you an idea, although I try to catch up on a few of the shows we discussed, I did maybe throw in Blood Rain.
Blood Rain? Which one's Blood Rain?
The one with Michael Madsen trying to have an accent at a few points. And
wait, the one where
Crystal Loken
or whatever?
Yeah.
Based on the video game?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
With Ben Kingsley.
He just loves you, ball man. He's in.
And Billy Zane. So, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, but then U-Ball did In the Name of the King, and we got Jason Statham, Matthew Lillard. We got that Jason Statham, Matthew Lillard combo we've always wanted.
With John Rhys Davies. What? How does he get these people?
What was I watching the other day that John Rhys Davies showed up? Oh, it was Waxwork.
Oh, that's right.
He was the werewolf in Waxwork.
Wow.
And he popped up, and I completely had forgotten that he was in that movie, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is after Indiana Jones, but it is pre-Sliders, so I mean,
That's the thing, man. I mean, Sliders is what put him over the hump.
yeah.
Well, if it was not, in fact, the hump that then Gimli put him over.
Listen, all right, Lord of the Rings is great and all, but it's no waxwork.
Clearly.
You know? He didn't, he played what was it? He played a dwarf, he didn't play a werewolf.
That's true.
Yeah, so when he showed up, I was just like, wow. I was like, yeah, you guys really upped your caliber for this movie. And Zach Galligan, and then, John Rhys Davies.
It's wild.
It is very wild. But, we were going on, and, I will get off of Justice League. I will not pick on you or make you talk about it any more than you have to.
I really appreciate that. Like, this whole area is a big fan of that, and I thank you.
But I am going to make you talk about some Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah. Interesting, kind of fun little read, by the way.
Yes. Am I right?
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
First book. And so, of course, we're talking about The Last Ronin, which is the newest graphic novel series that's coming out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it
By
followed
IDW, I believe it was.
Yes. Yeah. But it was Kevin Eastman is a part of it. So, the creator. So, he and Peter Laird created Ninja Turtles for anybody listening. So they're taking it. It's set in the future. Everybody but one turtle is dead. He is considered the last Ronin. He carries all of his brother's equipment.
Which is rad when he's just pulling it all out.
Oh yeah. Man. Splinter's gone. It's a very dark New York City in the future. The Klan is basically running everything. The Foot Clan. I will say the Foot Clan. Let's specify in this climate.
Please do.
And Shredder's grandson is running around. Shredder's long gone too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got some good stuff. So it was long speculated before the book came out, and there's going to be some spoilers. So anybody who hasn't read it yet, too bad. Keep listening and find out all of these wonderful spoilers.
Or just pause or like mute for a minute, and I'll do a hand signal when we're done.
Sounds good. So basically how it goes is we were with that we go to which turtle would it be that survived? Mm-hmm. And I think all the fans were thinking Raphael.
Of course.
And that's a great poll. I mean, he was probably the toughest of them all. And he, as in recent incarnations in the cartoon, has become the leader. Mm-hmm. Over Leonardo. Leonardo, of course, was another one because there's that famous sketch that somebody did. I don't know who did it, but
April O'Neil.
No. But it was Leonardo beaten, and he's down on all fours, bleeding, and he's got all the armbands around him, and he's carrying one of their weapons. So it's saying they're all dead.
Oh, wow.
And he's still fighting. So everybody was like, well, I mean, it could be taking a page from that, but then you have Donatello and then you have Michelangelo. So everybody was kind of speculating. I mean,
so lost you, Mike. I'm not sure if I'm on or if you're on.
Leave it to me to kick myself out of my own show.
That was awesome. That was pretty amazing. Awesome. Took a minute there. Fun. We were all hanging on the edge of our seat. You made it a big deal. That wasn't a hand signal. Oh, no.
Thank God I have a co-host now. So anyway, I revealed while I was gone who the actual last turtle was. So sorry, everybody. So I'm going to spoil it right now for everybody, but you should still read the book. Michelangelo is the last turtle. And I thought that was a bold decision.
I thought it was probably the wisest decision because he listened so much and took so much in from Splinter. You can see it kind of building to that where he would eventually one day grow into that. Like you could see that, he had the room for it. I don't know if Donatello would have grown into that. I don't know. I feel like Leonardo already has that leadership quality. Would he have more to grow? Would he have grown as much? Would he have taken the advice and be able to survive this way?
He's also the youngest brother, so that way you have that youngest brother syndrome where it's all my brothers are dead. I have to take up the mantle to avenge them,
and he's got to live up to the toughness of Raphael, the leadership of Leonardo, the wisdom and intelligence of Donatello. So,
and I have a very strong feeling that we're going to get back to the, I don't want to say innocence, but and not silliness, but like he's
more apt to find the lightheartedness to it. There's going to be, at least in this dark area, the chance of someone having a glimmer of hope would be Michelangelo.
But I'd even say, I'd go to say, like, if you put them all together as one entity, and if Donatello's the brains of Ninja Turtles and Raphael's the spine of the turtles or the back, and Leonardo is the if Leonardo is just the head, basically the head, like the one who charges through it, and Michelangelo has been the heart of it all.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we need. We need him to be Michelangelo. I like how you said he's taking up something from all of them, but he did sort of lose who he was.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back around to it. I do like that they're making the last Ronin. Doesn't really mesh well with ninjas, but whatever.
It's better. It works.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is better.
You remember those samurai with shurikens? Of course.
It is better, 100%. But I don't know. I don't know that the Japanese are looking at us like, you idiots. First of all, you made them turtles.
They're turtles. Let's just start there. All right. So I'm pretty sure we was already swinging a miss. Bebop and Rocksteady didn't help the situation.
No, not in any way, shape, or form, especially in that second movie.
Yeah.
So with that, where do you see it going? Like, where can this go? Because we actually, at the end of the first book, get April O'Neil back. Harry carries himself, first of all. He lost in I did not see that coming.
No.
And straight up, just like, boom, with Leo's
katanas, yeah,
blade. And I was just like, what the hell is happening? I was like, did he just kill himself in the first novel? But then you have, of course, he's back. He's being taken care of quite well by April O'Neil, who he did not know was alive. So I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, we got a fun surprise there, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be dark, so the question is, what is his goal now? Is it to carve a path to help people get out of the areas that are foot controlled, or is he just trying to right injustice in a semi-Batman Ninja Turtles way, but with, more murder?
And there's actually a good one of our watchers, Brian, what's up? So is the new generation Picasso, Monet, and Warhol. He does have to go pick up some more people to fight with him.
Hey, there you go.
Let's go find some turtles and then just sprinkle some of this ooze on them. And then,
or we're done with the ooze and there's other mutants out there. So he's going to go collect them.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm excited to see the possibilities where it goes. It's going to be five parts, and they're going to be coming out every other month. So the first one came out in October, at the end of October. Second one comes out in December, and so on and so forth. So
nice.
Of course, I have to wait 2 months to find out what happens next, but that first comic is worth the reread.
You'll get there.
I will. On a podcast, I'll definitely get there. But yeah, so I'm glad you got to read it.
Yeah, so am I. It was impressive. I can't wait to actually start picking that book up. That's worthwhile.
100%. So from one green hero of ours to another, Baby Yoda is being canceled. Supposedly.
Yeah,
cancel culture gets Baby Yoda, and he goes to space in the same week. So I mean, that tells you something. So,
yeah, I think Baby Yoda is going to be just fine.
I think Baby Yoda is the only one who can be safe.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that because of course it always starts off. Cancel culture always starts off with either somebody is really offended and taking it seriously, or somebody's trolling and trying to have a good time.
Right.
This one is the troll.
Of course.
100%. Twitter was just like, I can't believe they did this. Nobody was really outraged but here's where I want to get to. they're not outraged until they feel like they have to be outraged. Until like if Vanity Fair picks up the article to talk about Baby Yoda eating the egg of a mom.
Well, you see, the outrage will be beginning shortly. I give it like another week. If it's depends on the strength of the next episode.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because this first episode played on a whole lot of Clone Wars love, and they introduced the idea of Ahsoka Tano, so they're doing a whole lot.
Yeah, so kind of going into that this last episode. So I'm not big on what do you call it? Rebels. Not that I'm not big on it. I think I've watched it. I think it's a great show, but I never finished it off. Now, Katie Sackhoff's character is the descendant of the Mandalorian in that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly part of, or she's actually from Clone Wars, I believe. So I don't know if she's necessarily the descendant of Sabine Wren. I'm not 100% on Bo-Katin's as well as I should be for being on this podcast, but the frog leg, see? Baby Yoda eating anything is fine. I saw more issue with like the Mon Calamari serving squid. Like Baby Yoda just eating some eggs. It's like, I mean, come on. She wasn't anticipating them all surviving. I mean, there's got to be a reason for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's space. Shut up, people. One thing I will say, so I know that with Clone Wars, I forget what his name is. I think it was Katan, or whatever her name was the leader of the Mandalorians, and then but he was a Jedi, and he wielded the black saber.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I read up on everything, and then it got lost. I think after he was killed somewhere.
Well, I think he was killed by Moff.
Oh,
this guy, yeah, and I think that's how he got the saber. Possibly.
That makes sense. I mean, the saber looked cool at the end of last season.
Yeah, it did.
It really did. When I knew the lore of when that came out, that was a Mandalorian blade, and he was a Jedi. So it's cool that they are definitely working both those shows into, because Ahsoka is showing up. She's going to be played by Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she's in that flash in this episode.
What did I missed it then?
Yeah, there's a legit scene where they look over. The Mando looks over and sees her. She's there in the robe, and then somebody walks by and she's gone.
I thought that was awesome. Dr. Banks.
No, I'm pretty sure that was Rosario Dawson. And also, how about Sasha Banks taking her helmet off? How rad was that? With that reveal.
Is she going to break somebody's neck while she's there?
She better. That's what we paid for. That's the reason I like her so much. She's got moxie.
I haven't watched wrestling in so long, ever since Vince McMahon was just like, COVID? What's COVID?
Yeah.
And then, like 30 people in his organization got it.
Yeah. Totally fair. Totally fair. I've kind of gotten back into it because River started pressing that button and she was like, "Hey, Daddy, wrestling." And I was like, "All right, kid."
I let Tommy watch AEW. I was like, "No."
Yeah, we do that. Good. Yeah, she digs AEW.
But I will say this: Mandalorian so far this season I'm really enjoying the connections. Like we thought it was Hoth that it was on at some point. Like when they got stuck.
Right.
So the connections to the old, and they always did that. They always had Easter eggs in the show. So I always thought it was really good.
It's nice the way they've been picking up with those Easter eggs though, and making them like now you're more involved because it's this is something from the lore that. What's canon anymore? So they're kind of rebuilding the canon in a way.
Oh, 100%. And now if they can just fix it going forward.
Good luck.
How great would it be if it turns into the Mandalorian somehow changing the time continuum or whatever? And
Kelvin Timeline Star Wars.
Yeah. And it's just we're going to do 3 new movies, but we're going to do them right. With John Favreau. Oh
yeah, he really just needs to do everything from now on.
Yeah, because Dave Filoni did Clone Wars, I believe. And I think he worked on Rebels as well. I don't know if he was the showrunner for Rebels, but I'm pretty sure Clone Wars was like his baby.
Oh, wow.
So like, I mean, that does a lot, I think. So with that being said, Mandalorian, I think, is doing fantastic, and I'm really enjoying it. For you now, I want to talk about like the canceling of like Star Wars, things like that. So like problematic. So they've been working their way to not be problematic. Supposedly with like the last movies are like, we're going to do everything we can. Like it may be problematic with the fans, but it's not going to be problematic socially.
Right.
Do you think they saw this one coming?
Oh, let me tell you what, this smacked them right in the face with that SJW appeasement movement. I don't think they really got this one right. But I mean, how can you expect that when part of the mission is to save this mother and potentially get her babies to where she can finally have them hatch and be safe? And you're going to have the main character eating them for what clearly is going to be, now that he's stayed with them and saw the little one hatch out of this egg, he's going to go, oh, wow, I didn't know. And now I've learned something about the life cycle because Jedis.
And now Baby Yoda's going to become a Sith. Yeah.
God, I would love that. Give him a little Mandalorian helmet with the ears. Yes.
Oh, that'd be amazing. So, can you imagine? I would buy that doll. 100%.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh, absolutely.
And I mentioned it earlier. Speaking of which, congratulations to the 4 astronauts that made it out safely to this International Space Station this week and brought a Baby Yoda with them.
Which is awesome. Go SpaceX. I
mean, pop culture is really fitting in. And you know, it's funny because I was talking to Tommy, my 8-year-old, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, they're bringing Baby Yoda out, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, do you think the other astronauts know who Baby Yoda is? And it got me thinking, I'm like, I don't know. Because, yeah, I know they come back. I mean, I'm not saying that, but like, when they come back, they're back. And yeah, they may have left, but did they have a chance to really watch Mandalorian? Or do they have TV out there other than like recorded downloadable shows? Like, how do they do it? So,
I have no idea. But that sounds like a really good question for our buddy Alex.
I know. Oh, man. All right, we're going to have him on the show soon.
We just got to put a list together.
Tell us how TV works on the space station now.
How does signals work in places?
I mean, they always got away with it on Deep Space Nine. There just was no TV.
Man, it was easier that way. Well, you had a holodeck, so that's not even fair. You can never compare anything to an area with a holodeck.
I like that, but at the same time, I also subscribe to the Orville's way of thinking. You still have holodecks, but they're having like, bridge movie night where they're watching a movie on the bridge. Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
It makes sense to me because like you're not going to just like get rid of movies. Like they're around for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, mind you, you also have a captain who loves movies and loves the old time stuff, which is our era. So
that is very true. Well, yeah, at least it was our era and not Shakespeare.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with loving Shakespeare. You take it back.
No. At least Cisco liked baseball.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah. I'll give you that.
So, okay. This was not on the plan tonight, but I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
You are a big Star Trek fan.
A little bit.
Where the hell was Picard and Riker and all of that crew during the Dominion War?
Well, they were out being better. They can't be involved in a war. Man, dude, that's your flagship. You have to present that as your ultimate first contact, as going out and discovering, exploring. You can't have that one sullied by being like, oh, you mean the Enterprise, the great warship that wiped out half of the frickin' Dominion? Like, no, you can't. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Well, no. Because it didn't exist.
And he was more than likely they were out with the Romulans.
That's fair, but at the same time, okay, so here's my way of thinking. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Mm-hmm. And Brian, I see your comments. I'll get to you, I promise. All right. The Enterprise was gone by this point because when Worf joins, that was already after Generations, and Enterprise D had been completely destroyed. So they're building the E, and a big part of that was until Insurrection, which I think was around the time of the end of the Dominion War. Or no, not. Yeah, was it?
Yeah,
No,
because the Jem'Hadar, they'd brought up the Jem'Hadar, but is it like a past, like the Borg, the Jem'Hadar with all the battles that Starfleet's been through? So I believe that was covered.
Yeah. Well, first contact came out in 96.
Yeah.
So that's right around the time where you're like getting heavy into the Dominion War. So here's my thinking. Okay, yes, the E exists. The Dominion War has been, let's say, for even just a year going on right now. Let's say the fifth season. Not the fifth season. 96 would have been the fourth season, I believe. So you get to that point. So it's going on about a year or so. They're pulling more and more people out. They don't have a lot to kind of measure up. So let's say the Enterprise E isn't in yet, or they just don't want it a part of it.
Right.
What they still need are leaders who are hardened leaders. And at what point do the admirals of Starfleet go, listen, Jean-Luc, it's great that you have the Enterprise and we want you to stay far away or work with the Romulans or whatever else. But Riker, Data,
Worf.
Worf's
already in,
yeah, Worf's on the front lines already. So, like, that should be even more reason the admirals are like, listen, Worf is proving himself. The rest of your crew is there.
Yeah, but Worf is also fighting with the Klingons, like a lot.
Which I get, though, when you have the Alliance.
Yeah, so he's not in a Federation capacity,
Fair enough, but okay. But at the same time, he's still doing damage.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to say, listen, we have this ship. We need a good captain to man this ship. And first of all, if I'm an admiral in Starfleet, I'm saying, Cisco, you need to keep the Bajorans in check since they're not going to join up the Federation. They look at you as the emissary. You need to just stay on
DS9, yeah.
DS9. So we need somebody for the Defiant, which is our main warship with the cloaking device. We're going to put Riker in there.
Well, they had those kids on the one. That did well.
Oh, God.
On the Valiant.
Don't even get me started on that one. Oh, my God. Because I'm even saying that. I'm like, Red Squadron's out there, but Riker's not.
Yeah. Riker was Red Squad.
Now, I get acting-wise. You can't get him back. He's not coming back. His show's over. He doesn't want to come back. But explain it. Just give me an explanation.
Yeah.
They came back from the movies. Brett Spiner was so busy in 1996, he couldn't come and be like, hey, I'm going to...
Here's the other thing, though, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty sure any one of those characters at that point in their careers were probably off just doing whatever the hell they wanted because they could. Because it was the Enterprise, and it was Jean-Luc Picard.
But
he didn't give a crap.
But I feel like Picard would want to be there.
Not after fighting the Borg, fighting everyone else. I think he would see the importance of wanting to keep the flagship out of it the same way it stayed out of the Klingon War.
I hear a lot of words in defense for them not being there. And
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things going on. It is the universe.
That's fair. I'm saying they got to pull some of those people off. Like, you got to get.
Well, they have to do what? What kind of Starfleet are you living in? I mean, it's cool. Let's go to that future.
All right, so I guess the series finale was really the series finale for.
Yeah, they wrapped. They were done.
For Worf, for everybody but Worf.
Yeah,
we're movie bound now. That's how this works.
We're big deals.
I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll just have to accept your logic on this because it is. Listen, it is a more deep knowledge than I have, so I'm just gonna have to agree with you.
Wow. Tiny shovel takes a while. That's all.
But now that we segue, gotta get like a little cartoon.
Segue master.
That's the segue master. Oh, I didn't miss that.
I did.
I know. We're going to get into memorable, either good or bad series finales. And the reason I want to do that is because this week is the last week of Supernatural after 15 years. It's crazy.
I don't know how you've stayed with it. God bless you, man. I mean, it's awesome.
And you know what? I realized this is a show I stayed with from day one. I watched it when it premiered.
Yeah.
I watched that whole season because I didn't have like TiVo or whatever it was back then. So I just every week watched it. And I did that for like a lot of years. And I just stuck with it.
You love that thing, man. That has been a carved out chunk of time. What was it, Wednesday nights for the longest time or something?
Yep. No. It was Thursday nights was the first one. All right. So here's my understanding of Supernatural. I watched Smallville. Jensen Ackles was on Smallville. And Jared Padalecki was on Gilmore Girls. I did not watch Gilmore Girls.
I did watch Gilmore Girls.
And then I guess when his character left and Jensen Ackles' character was killed off of Smallville in season 4, I remember it. Season 4 of Smallville. They both were on the brand new Supernatural show, and I'm like, I'm in. I like Eric Kripke. He was a writer on some of the later episodes of X-Files, and he brought a lot of them with him, like Kim Manners and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm in. I was like, it's CW, but whatever. I'm down. I'll check it out.
It was fresh off being WB, so it was still all right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like fresh.
Yeah. Brand new. Like that was the new CW show, I think. The new hotness.
Well, another one I know we're going to talk about is like Buffy. Like I think Buffy had just that year moved to UPN off of the CW.
Yeah, for its last season, I think.
Its last 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because 5 was, and we're going to get into this too, was the season finale. Yep. The series finale of the CW, and they didn't think it was coming back. So let's stick with Supernatural now, because that's going to be more of a conversation.
We got a lot to unpack here. We left ourselves a lot of time.
So like the first 3 seasons were really good. They're always building to something bigger, like with demons. Like because the first season was like mostly just Monster of the Week, urban legends. Then it ends with understanding that like the thing that marked Sam when he was a baby was a demon. And so
demon with the yellow eyes. The
demon with the yellow eyes. Yep, very good. So they I'm surprised because I know you're not a fan. Like you've tried watching.
Not a fan. It's a lot to try to unpack. And every time I do, I get a season in. I'm chunking away. I'm at season 5. Been a couple years.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you're almost there. Dude. The first time they time travel was like in season 5 or season 6.
Okay.
And it happens so many times now that you forget that it's been 10 years of them time traveling. Because it's just happened all the time. And every episode outdoes itself. It just gets better and better. So, they build up with the demons and then like what the ultimate plan for Sam was. That he was like the favorite of the yellow demon of all of his proteges that he was putting together. And then they finally get to introducing angels after Dean died, which was season 3 he died. Mm-hmm. And season 4, the angels brought him back from hell. So,
and then did someone die at the end of season 4?
Yeah. Okay. So,
and then the end of season 5?
The first 8 seasons.
And then the end of season 6?
The first 8 seasons of the show, yes. Well, no, yes. Okay. So the first 8 seasons of the show, the brothers died one after the other. So it was like Dean died in season 1, came back. Sam died in season 2, came back. Dean died in season 3, came back. Sam died in season 4, came back.
Now, mind you, I'm saying this all from a place of lovely judging because I'm representing something that didn't get a series finale for our series finale talk. So
they got a movie though. I'll give them that.
Yeah, pretty big,
a great movie too.
Mm-hmm.
So you flash forward. So the angels and demons thing, the biggest thing was Satan. Sam was supposed to be the vessel for Satan. Dean was supposed to be the vessel for Saint Michael. That's how it was chosen by God. They were supposed to fight and end the apocalypse.
Season 9?
No, that was season like 5 or 4.
Oh, well, I'm almost there. Sweet.
They didn't. They allowed the apocalypse to happen because that's the one thing about Supernatural I'll give you is if there was something that was supposed to happen, the Winchesters never did it. They went the other way, and they still continue to do it to the very end. So it built up into this whole thing where you find out in like season 11, it's season 15 now, the last season, or season 10, where God is like there. He was their friend the whole time, Chuck, and it was actually God, and he's kind of behind everything.
Boy, anybody who might have been inspired to try to watch this show is now out.
They do it well. They do it well. Yeah, I'm explaining it. But anyway, the reason, long story short, too late, is you get around to season 15. Chuck, or God, as you put it, has now, you find out like all the different worlds and dimensions that he has built as God were just different stories that he was trying to play out because he was always trying to write different stories. And he destroyed every other world except for this one. And this was going to be the last one with Sam and Dean. And they were going to have the final confrontation, and they still outlasted him and went against his plan. And he erased everybody from existence. They have now lost every single person except for Jack, who is the Antichrist, who is half human, half Satan. I know. Bear with me, Casey. I'm here with you. I promise. I'm going to get you there.
I'm committed. I'm with you, man. You're just I'm getting excited. I'm getting flushed.
I hope so, man. I truly. Oh yeah, Mike. Well, I mean, I have not even gotten to the last season yet.
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
So I am not calling spoiler alert until I get to. I'm not even at that season yet. So in the last season, if you got to go back and rewatch like Casey does, you're just gonna have to find out. But yes, normally I respect the spoiler alert. So now we're getting to the spoiler alert. The last episode that they just had, which was not the series finale, tied everything up. It's all done. They have had their final confrontation with God. Everybody has been dealt with in some way, shape, or form, except for the Winchesters. The Winchesters are finally free from everything. And you find out, I'll leave it alone so that way everybody can find out how it happens. But
light touch.
It was beautiful. And then they finished the show off, though, where the guys are sitting there, they're having a beer, and they're just like, so what do we do now? And they're just like, we're free. And then they get off and they get in the car, and then there's a montage of all 15 seasons, like everybody who's been on the show. And,
awesome.
And I'm like,
that's cool.
Is this the series finale? I was like, this is a series finale. I was like, This is done. I was like, did I screw up? Because I watched it taped and I wanted to watch the series finale live. And then we get to it and they go, next week, the 2-hour series finale. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's not possible. You just ended everything. You ended it. What happens now? They're free. Why would you take that away from me?
Well,
and they explain it in there. They explain it in there, which is you got they tied up everything that the fans wanted tied up. Now it's time for Sam and Dean to get tied up. Their story. So they're going to have one last thing that they have to do, and that will be the end.
Oh! I thought you meant like physically tied up. I was going to be like, bro.
No. Well, maybe. I mean, that happens a lot in the show too. But the series finale was like for them, for the actors, which I get.
That's pretty cool. And I like that because they've done all the jumping the shark, all the craziness, all these outrageous things. So they might as well have a montage episode. If they haven't had a full montage episode of returning to remembrances and, flashing back to old episodes, old seasons, it's brilliant. I think it's a great way to go.
They have done that.
Well, it's even better.
And it's been explained by some supernatural force having it happen. But they did the montage in last week's episode where they covered everybody who's ever been on the show.
That's pretty cool.
So this one is literally like, I'm lost. I'm like, who do you fight? Satan's dead. All the demons are taken care of and back in hell. God is not a problem anymore. That's all I'm going to say. Everything is covered.
Maybe they become factory workers.
Yeah, they have to fight just normal humans now.
Yeah. They just get in fistfights constantly.
It's just, the rest of the episode is just them in bar fights.
Yeah, they have terrible attitudes. They don't care, and they have no more, purpose. Screw it.
Yeah. Mike says, all this angel and demon talk makes me want some good old Constantine. They should remake that show with David Tennant as Constantine.
I would love that.
I
love that idea. I just discovered that there's a little comment section over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little slow.
And then he said, I did hear that Constantine movie sequels in order. Yeah, actually, that was confirmed this week.
Ooh, with Keanu?
Keanu confirmed it. Keanu's like, yeah, we're coming back.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
that's exciting.
I love how Keanu Reeves basically was just doing his thing. Didn't care if he did a sequel or not. But now, all his old movies, it's just like, yeah, I'll do sequels.
Yeah.
Oh,
why not?
Alex Winter wants to do it? I'm in. You are arguably the biggest name ever in this movie.
I mean, if you want to go back to thinking about who was it? Who's one that I always use? Donald Sutherland? Actors who just kind of reach a point, they just start showing up everywhere.
Yeah,
Ben Kingsley.
I wonder if he got bored. I would love to interview Ben Kingsley and just be like, so why the U-Bowl movies? Was it easy? Was it close to home?
Probably a nice chunk of money. Something get to work with maybe certain actors he likes behind the scenes, or maybe an AD that he's a fan with, or, maybe a PA that he's cheating on his wife with. He's got options. Oh,
good old Ben Kingsley. The man won his Oscar when he was young and was just like, yeah, I'll do whatever.
Yeah, what, 82? He started acting in 76? Come on. It's not even fair.
It really isn't. So you get a situation like that where you have all of these wonderful people. So you get in a situation where you have Constantine coming back. You just have Bill and Ted. There's going to be John Wick movies until
forever.
Literally, I'm fine with it. And I think the best thing is he is America's 007. Let's say it now. Let's call it now. I don't care what anybody else says. Go back and just be like, no, it's this. No, it's that. No. If there's anything that is more American than the John Wick movie, then
in Mike Flynn?
No, I'm not giving.
What, Lee Marvin? You don't think he's a badass?
That wasn't Lee. Was it Lee Marvin or James Coburn?
One of the two.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Interchange.
They are interchangeable, 100%.
Steve McQueen was the only one who stood out of all the men's men.
Well, all right. Lee Marvin, yeah. Lee Marvin was so good, man.
He was great. I loved him, but there were 5 of them.
Well, no, there was one Lee Marvin, and then there was a bunch of guys who tried to be Lee Marvin.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because if you think about it, let's think about this for a second. All right, I like this. I want to go with this for a second. Who were the actors that were most trying to be Lee Marvin?
James Coburn.
I agree. I would say Charlton Heston.
Agreed. Absolutely, Charlton Heston. Oh man.
Jack Palance.
Yep, Charles Bronson.
Charles. No. I'm going to pull Charles Bronson out because Lee Marvin and Charles Bronson sort of started around the same time.
Yeah, but Bronson was way younger. So Marvin had a little more accolade to him, he was a bit bigger at the time. Like Dirty Dozen, Marvin's aged. He's got a few years on him.
Yeah, that is true. All right. Yeah, we can add Charles Bronson.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying that Bronson actually imitated him, but he did try to be like him. But he kept his very, hey, I'm Charlie Bronson. It was still his style,
That's fair. Okay. Yeah, because you know what? Going on and then doing the Death Wish movies and all those other movies, he was definitely trying to channel some Lee Marvin. Because Lee Marvin was even, as he got older, was just like, yeah, action's the way to go. One I will never agree with is Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen was too cool.
No, he was definitely his own. That's why I say Steve McQueen was outside of that, Kind of like, who's Maverick?
Tom Cruise?
Oh, no, not Top Gun. The card player, James Garner.
Oh, James Garner.
James Garner was of that era, but he was his own guy. He was keeping his own suaveness, his own thing.
Yeah, no, I'll agree to that. Yeah.
Wow, I hope
Especially-
anyone even cares. Is anyone watching this old enough to know who we're talking about?
Yeah, there's a few people watching that are old enough, but I don't think anybody cares. But I care, but that's all I care about.
Fair.
Rambo is more American. Nope.
Rambo killed Americans, man.
Rambo, yeah, he didn't care, man. Rambo tried to be American. And Rambo for the 80s was American. But John Wick, man. John Wick is like...
Hey, and let's not give him this. First of all, it's lowercase, Brian.
Yeah.
and it's Americism. So Rambo is pretty Americism.
Yeah, I can't give that to you, Brian. I'm sorry.
I mean, in later years when he was mowing down those North Koreans, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, that was just such a weird scenario of like Rambo for me, especially after the last one, was just like, what are you trying to tell here? Where are we going with this?
He wanted to do Taken, and the best vehicle for that was not the Expendables because they'd already done that.
Yeah, like the Expendables makes sense because it's like you're trying to clamp on to something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rambo just kind of turned as a weird vehicle for gore. Ooh.
Yeah, it really did. Because he liquefies people in that fourth one.
Yeah. It almost gets into a weird, he wanted a action porn movie or gore porn, like something just more bigger guns, bigger explosions. I mean, it worked really well in Expendables. That was the classic 80s, action movie I wanted. That brought me back to Commando.
Could John Wick overtake Chuck Norris's fame, though? Yeah, I think so. I think he could. Well, I mean, because you're talking about two different things. You're talking about, could a fictional character take over Chuck Norris, who like is a real person,
who was a real champion in karate, who was he was kind of a, slated as an American in a non-American sport. So it was a big deal.
Yeah. And he built himself to that point.
Mm-hmm.
He built this persona over years and years. So could John Wick overtake that? No, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It depends, because are you saying Chuck Norris, or are you saying do you have a specific movie? Or are you talking Walker Texas Ranger? Because it's I don't know. I'd say he could overtake the Walker Texas Ranger title.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. That's coming back. Did you see they're remaking it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. On the CW. No bullshit.
It's the CW is going to have Walker Texas Ranger. So it's going to be worse than with a little kid standing on top of a ladder who jumps as his dad steps away so the kid falls. Are you kidding? It's going to get worse?
It's it was interesting. Guess who's going to play the Walker in the new one?
Chuck Norris?
No.
I mean, no, is he?
I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Jared Padalecki. Now that Supernatural's over. He's producing the show and he's starring as Walker. And basically, Walker's going to be an undercover cop or undercover Texas Ranger that gets out of being undercover. He gets out now. He's going back to it because like his wife, I guess, died or whatever, and he's got 2 kids. So like it's just Walker being Walker, and he has 2 kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, this is extremely. A lot of skepticism on this end. A lot of skepticism. I mean, good on him for being able to get there and for him running a show and doing what he wants. But oof.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Ooh, Steve Austin.
Steve Austin would be great because if you're going to go wild, with it, yeah, Brian said that.
Yep.
Steve Austin. So if you're going to go completely wild with a show, like it should be done by like CMT or something like that, and it's just like, we're going to do Walker Texas Ranger, but we're going to make Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I would be all about that. That would be a phenomenal show.
And then Mike says, "Yo, I can get behind that. Steve Austin as Walker. Yes, please." Yeah, I mean,
All
he's
right.
a Texan. He can pull it out, man.
Mm-hmm. And he'd be the older, like, grizzled, hard ass, kind of wrapping it up, maybe trying to hand it off, but the new kids are idiots. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
My thing that bugs me is, I don't care if you change things up and you make I guess like he's going to have a whole new partner. It's going to be a whole new thing. So
he's going to be shot with the soft lens.
He should be.
Yeah, especially
like when Sixth Sense kid rolls in and is like, Walker told me I have AIDS.
It better be real soft for that scene.
Oh my God, that was so CBS soft it hurt.
I know, it's great. Or whenever there was like a whole season when they legitimately, every time they're on a female, until Kelly Hu came on, and then they kind of like couldn't do it.
Oh my God. Do you remember? Okay. So I'm not segueing because like we're way past this conversation, but we'll get to it on another show. But like, do you remember the series finale of Walker Texas Ranger?
I do not.
They spent years building up a Walker team.
I do remember that.
Yeah, they had Mia Peoples played, I forget her name on the show. Then the other guy was Gage, who played the pitcher in my favorite Major League movie, Major League Back to the Minors. I know it's a guilty pleasure, but I love that movie.
Is Tom Berenger in that one?
No, that's Scott Bakula.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's so bad, but I love it.
Like Necessary Roughness era Scott Bakula?
Yeah. It's just so, but I remember him being that he was this skinny little pitcher in that movie, and then he gets to Walker, and like he's like this big buff guy, and I'm like, what the hell happened?
His fancy blonde hair.
So he had some blonde hair, dude. So for me, okay, so we get to the series finale of that show. So they've been building up this thing, like this whole team. And do you remember who led the team of bad guys that were kind of like weirdly superhuman?
I cannot, but I remember there towards the end them fighting people who all of a sudden everything took extra.
Yeah.
It really
did. And it wasn't that any of the teams slowed up or anything over the years. Nope. It was that this was an elite squad.
Was this the one that ended on the farm and they're like assaulting the ranch or whatever it was?
No, I think it was like in a warehouse. But
okay.
The main bad guy that Walker has to face, Michael Ironside.
I do, in fact, remember that because you showed me that clip. And now you jogged my memory. And Michael Ironside being one of my favorite actors, I'm in love with it. Great series finale. Couldn't be better choice.
So that's just your main season finale?
I'm in. Let's go with that one.
All right. I'm with it. I'm with you on that. So the best series finale of all time, we're calling it now. And this is pop culture. Nobody can take it away from us.
Yep.
Has to be Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
So,
yep.
Okay. So we called it, everybody. Oh, wait. What do we got here? Remake Roadhouse with Austin. All right. Here's why you can't do that. Like, I can see. I want to listen. I'm with you, Brian, on this. Remake everything and put Stone Cold Steve Austin in it. But when I say everything, I don't mean Roadhouse. If we're
Judge Dredd,
yeah, that Texas twang would be amazing. It'd be amazing. But here's the thing. If you're going to do... All right, so this is how we're going to end the show. Who should take over? Oh, no, I got it. Okay, because you can still fit them in. All right, we remake Roadhouse. I haven't picked somebody to take over for Dalton yet. But Austin plays Wade Garrett.
The bad guy.
No. Sam Elliott's character.
Okay, see, now here I was thinking that, but I'd prefer what if Austin is plays the owner of the bar.
Because then you wouldn't hire anybody.
No, you take him out of the element, so he just treats everyone bad, and that's the remake.
All right, I'm all for that movie, but if we're remaking Roadhouse, we gotta have somebody who has that charisma that Patrick Swayze had. What actor? What young actor today?
Channing Tatum.
No way.
On.
And I like Channing Tatum, and I like him in comedies. He in no way, shape, or form embodies what Patrick Swayze gave to us.
What? You didn't think he was great in The Eagle?
Was he in The Eagle? Which one was The Eagle?
The Eagle's the one where the Romans, he's like a Roman centurion.
Oh
What it is.
God.
Yeah, that horrible hunk of junk.
Yeah, no, I definitely did not see Patrick Swayze in that.
No, not Patrick Swayze. That's Channing Tatum. Yeah.
Any Patrick Swayze charisma in that role. Hemsworth, it would be all right. I'm in. He does. I 100%. 100% agree, Brian.
What if, blow it up and have Chris Hemsworth training Liam Hemsworth?
I like it if they're too young. Yeah. I like the idea of Chris Hemsworth being the guy who has now surpassed Wade Garrett, which Swayze did. Even Wade Garrett would have said, like, yeah, mijo, you're the man, you know? But I couldn't see it. We need this movie, man. We need Stone Cold Steve Austin as Wade Garrett. We need Chris Hemsworth, especially after that movie, The Extraction. He was great in that. Oh my God. We have how are we not? Let's go Hollywood now.
Well, and the bad guy has to be Adam Baldwin.
Ooh.
Could you get enough of an almost B rate? But he's not. He's an A rate.
And you need it because he has the same, it's the same hairline.
Exactly.
Bradley, whatever his name was in the movie.
With the weird forehead bump and everything, is huge.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm always up for Adam Baldwin in anything, and I know where it's coming from with the hat, but yeah, Chris Hemsworth might be the only one. Because
any of the Chris's, I think you can actually put Pratt in there too. A little goofier, but we've seen him play. Maybe he could pull that off. Evans, I think.
I don't know what it is about Hemsworth. Hemsworth never pissed me off. The other two have, and Chris Pine is a good one, but Chris Pine too doesn't have. Like, I think if you're going to rank the Chris's, all right, we're saving it for next week.
Yeah, we got to save it. That's a pitch right there.
We are ranking
all the Hollywood Chris's.
I do like this. Brian Kosnowski says, "Bad guy, Bill Burr." Yes, Bill Burr's been pretty good. He was great on.
Actually, Bill Burr's bad guy is kind of genius. Or is the bar owner who's just complaining about everything the whole time?
Yeah, he's better as the bar owner.
Boom.
100%, because you don't believe that he can handle it himself, but you can believe that's a guy who can go out and get the guy who's going to handle it.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes, and he's just fast talking and fun.
Mm-hmm.
We of course get Keith David back to play the arbitrary good guy bartender.
Naturally,
always.
With maybe Donald Faison training under him.
Oh, who do you get? You gotta get a star, man. You have to, because when you see Keith David just handing him a coffee and not really having any lines,
Will Smith.
It's kind of
get Will Smith to literally crack a bottle, to grab a glass of water off a table at one point, to ask if everything's cool.
Because here's a guy who has been in a lot of movies, and just 2 years before this was like in They Live, which was a really big movie.
Huge.
So it's like he's playing the bartender, like not even the bartender that like gets fired for stealing. Like, he's just playing the bartender that hands a coffee to somebody. Like, you don't do that with Keith David. That man's voice. You have a movie with Sam Elliott and Keith David. You need to make sure that both their voices are heard in these movies.
They need to interact at some point, because it'd just be so mind-boggling. Like, I think the mics themselves to start vibrating with joy.
I'm telling you, this movie needs to be made. We need to reach out to Chris Hemsworth, and we need to tell him, we are not accepting anybody else as Wade Garrett except for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it will be amazing. Because
Bill Burr is the bar owner.
There is a wrestling connection now that Chris Hemsworth is playing Hulk Hogan in the Hulk Hogan movie for Netflix.
Yep.
So
are people excited in the wrestling world about this? Something we'll discuss later.
Yes, we are going to go over the Chris's. We're going to rank them next week. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Brian says, let's make this. I'm all for it. We should make this. I did not use any of the banners or title cards that I made for this, which was like The Last Ronin, Michelangelo, Baby Yoda canceled, memorable series finales. We didn't even talk about them.
We didn't even get through that.
We figured out what the best one was, and we just went with it.
Well, it felt right in our hearts. Why fight it?
Yeah, why fight anything? Anything with Michael Ironside is going to be the best series finale ever.
He was Jester. He was freaking Jester. The man is a national treasure.
100%.
The more scarred up he is, the better he is. Give me gritty old dirty Michael Ironside.
You know what? We need to debate too. We need to make this. Okay, so next week we're just going to debate who's the best of everything.
Okay, I'm in. It's the best of show.
Yes, I love it. Maybe we should save this for the end of the year, but whatever. It's been fun. So we're going to talk about who's the best Chris. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about who's better, Michael Ironside or Powers Booth.
Don't make that's power. That's going to be hard.
You better think about it. It's going to be fun. But for everybody who is just joining in or was watching or is listening or later or however this works, this has been the Snobs podcast, of course, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. It is hosted by myself, Mick Manhattan, and of course, my lovely co-host, Mr. Casey Plot. Rewind. Casey Plot. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's all right.
My second show of 3 today, so I'm getting
long day. It's all right. Don't be so hard on yourself, buddy. You're doing great.
Yeah, I did get to meet Dwight Gooden though, so that was cool.
Dude, it's amazing.
And I will get to that right now. So no Behind the Box tomorrow night. We are off this week. Next week, though, Len and I will be back, and we are going to be analyzing the movie Blood Rage for Thanksgiving night. Well, the night before Thanksgiving. Wow, we have so much going on. We start 2 new shows this week, but first, before that, make sure at 9 a.m. on Thursday or anytime thereafter on our podcast or our YouTube is the Sports Snobs. They made a great show tonight, so I'm really looking forward to even re-listening to that. That is, of course, hosted by Kaz and Pat. Then we have Rob Paints the Movies, which is going to be fun. It's going to be pre-recorded this week, but it's always a good time. We always get a great painting out of it. And some fun trivia. That's 7:30 p.m. Will be broadcast then. And then at 9 p.m. we are broadcasting one of our new shows, which is Barefoot and Guapo's Boxing Report. It's going to be really fun. You'll find out about Barefoot and Guapo. They're great guys. They're going to have amazing guests that include Sensei Estrada, who has the fastest knockout in boxing history of 7 seconds. Mr. The Real Paul Banky, who is, just look him up. He was one of the greatest boxers of all time. And Mr. Montel Ice Griffin is going to be on the show, and they're going to be talking about the Roy Jones Tyson fight coming up. That's going to be a 2-part of the thing from this week and next week. So we're looking forward to that, and we're hopefully trying to get maybe one of them on the show. That would be a lot of fun. So check that out. That's going to be 9 p.m. And then, of course, again, you can listen to anything after that in podcast or video format. But 9 p.m. on the Snobs channel. Friday is our second new show of the week, of the now forever. And we are kicking off Friday Night Frights with the Mutant pregame show hosted by myself. Mary and Frank are all going to be back. We're all Mutant fam, and we're going to be having a good time. We're going to kick it off. Then, of course, Friday Night Frights goes pregame show, Mutant pregame show, Mutant Cafe, Monster Movie Happy Hour, and then we have the double feature put on by Mutant Theater, and then we have the midnight movie put on by MutantFam.com. Okay, I know I said a lot. I'm really sorry about that. I'm getting back to my poor co-host who has been sitting here with me. I love you, buddy. Thank you so much for tolerating this.
Bro, what are you talking about? You got a lot to talk about. You got a lot going on, which all sounds absolutely amazing.
But we have a lot going on as of next week because you and I are hosting Friendsgiving.
Yes. I'm so excited.
11 p.m. to 7 a.m. We're going to have guests. Rob's going to paint the picture.
Awesome.
with us right there. So it's cool. We got to be his co-host on the show that night. But Casey and I are hosting the show. It is a Friendsgiving. Anybody's invited to join in the comments, come on the show, whatever. Let's just have a good time. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm insane for thinking of this stuff.
It's going to be so much fun.
Oh, my God.
It's going to hurt so much.
Oh, it really is, but it's going to be great. We're going to eat pie, and we're going to have turkey, and we're going to fall asleep, and then we're going to wake back up, and it's going to be 6 a.m., and we're going to say bye. So, but as for tonight, I'm going to say goodbye again. And again, Casey, you want to tell them where to find you on social media?
Sure. At Twedeye Night is my Twitter handle. And then, beyond that, I don't think I trust any of you people.
That's fair. I don't blame you. I'm at the Scene Snob everywhere, and I don't trust anybody, but I trust you guys. I don't trust you guys who watch and listen. That is it. So until next time, thank you so much. Oh, Brian from the sports show may be joining us on the all night thing. So that was
sweet. Awesome.
Sports that night too. So we're going to have a great time. It's going to be so much fun. Join us this week for the rest of the shows. Of course, you can always go to thescenesnobs.com. That's where all of our shows are listed, and you can find them all there. Until next time, I will talk to you all later.
Be well.